Okay, Triggered FM 003 going live in 003, 002, 001.
You're suffering with Triggered
Right, hello, my name is Toby Green and I'm here to do a soundbite. Now my favourite sort of soundbite would be, Frosty.
Welcome, we are live for Triggered FM 003. Good afternoon.
Yes, it is March the 9th. I don't know why that's important, but I felt like sharing it.
Well, that's the date, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
We've had some really sad news this month.
It's not nice.
It's not, is it? Rest in peace to Keith Flint.
Yeah, man.
Should get that definitely said first. It's very important.
Yeah.
Very influential man.
Yeah.
Changed the game for a lot of people.
Wouldn't probably be making the music I do right now, or we do right now, without Prodigy and Keith.
Agreed.
Rough
Agreed.
take.
Massive shame. Massive shame.
Yes. So,
Sad.
anyways, we've had a lot of feedback on the show. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you are tuning in for the first time, hi.
Hello, this is what we do now.
If you're tuning in again, hi. We played a show last night.
Yeah.
Yeah, to be honest, we're all a little bit like spun out.
Yeah, it
Quite
was a late one.
It was a great show. Over in Leeds, LS6 Café.
Indeed.
Played with some fantastic bands. We had the likes of Things Tame.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for stepping in as well, for filling the slot.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
a late minute fill-in as well.
It was indeed.
Local Leeds represent.
3-Day Millionaires, tore it
Yeah,
up.
man.
Gamblers,
Wow.
tore it up.
Yes.
Promoters were wicked.
Yeah, big shout out to Matt West, lovely guy.
Yeah,
big
absolutely.
shout out to all of the LS6 Cafe crew. Actually, you guys have a lovely establishment. Your establishment is
Well established.
Yes.
Yes, indeed. So it was packed out. It was sweaty. It was crazy. We played a whole bunch of new stuff from Triggered Tuesday.
Yeah, man.
So yeah,
It's
it was
the
awesome.
longest. It's the longest set we've ever played,
Indeed, it was.
and it was it was exhausting at least.
But yeah, thank you so much for coming down.
Yes.
Yeah,
And-
especially all you who are trying to cram your way into it and ended up on stage with us just to get into the room like that. It meant a lot. It was cool seeing a bunch of people from all different stages within our life as well. Big
Yeah.
shout out to Brett Smith for making it all the way over from Scunthorpe. And my dad to come from France.
Indeed, indeed.
That's quite the pilgrimage.
Yeah.
So we do have some form of script that we look at here, because otherwise,
We get lost.
yes, we'd be shit.
Yeah.
So as always, do get in touch. We always want to hear from you. We've had a few messages, which was actually kind of really nice and surprising. So if you want to get in touch, triggerthermuk@gmail.com, Instagram, triggerthermuk, Facebook, just search triggerthermuk. Yeah, my brain's not doing too well. It's not doing too well. Anyway, a few upcoming things of note. Next week, people of Bradford and the North, if anyone from Bradford even actually listens to us, it is BBC are running a campaign next week trying to change the image of Bradford in the media, and they're going to be running a pop-up in the Broadway shopping centre where you can go in there and tell people how Bradford you are and how fucking great you are and grateful you are to be from Bradford and how great it is and why they need to stop smearing shit all over it in the press.
It's a nice city. It's about time it got that acknowledgement.
Yes, indeed. What else? Tonight, in fact, yes, we need to get this podcast out in time if we're going to talk about this show.
Yeah.
Tonight, playing at Santiago. The note says Chunk. That's a fucking lie. Don't go to Chunk for this show.
No.
Do not go.
You'll
It
be
is
in
at
the wrong place.
Santiago's. You will look like an idiot. So we're playing Let's Swim, Get Swimming. Are headlining. They are on tour. Got some support. Exploder. No Hands.
Yes.
Jesus Christ, there's no hands, boys.
I haven't seen those guys live in too long.
Mate,
So that's
shout out to
really
the
cool.
Acid Hat guys for putting on a ridiculous lineup.
It is a good, very good lineup.
Yes, it's
Very
£4
good.
in on the door, so it's very cheap for how much music you get. So
Yeah.
if anyone can make it down there tonight,
That's £1 a band. Come on.
quids in.
Another shout out to another show going off in Leeds tonight as well, just to represent Tom Gardner, throwing up that contrarians business tonight over at Key Club. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna make some adjustments.
if you want to enjoy yourself in one of two establishments, take your pick. Leeds is rife tonight for that music.
Rife in Leeds. So we've got new shows. Last month we announced that we were playing in Bradford next week. Next week?
No.
Week after 23rd of March?
25th,
Week
yeah.
after.
Yeah, week after. 23rd of March, playing at the Underground, Alzheimer's. fundraiser.
Yeah.
It's going to be great. Thank you again. Shout out to Chris Dover for the slot. And last minute, we have just been placed to support and open for Sir in Manchester on the 12th of March.
The Angels. The Angels as our Sir.
Yeah.
Indeed. So, yeah, they asked us, and we're always super grateful because they are some of the hardest working musicians on the scene at the moment.
Yeah.
They're constantly on tour, constantly grafting. They're playing Leeds the day after. So we're playing with them in Manchester on the 12th of March.
Soup Kitchen.
Soup Kitchen.
Yeah.
Yeah, 12th of March. And then they're playing Leeds at Porto the day after, so it'd be well worth going and checking them out there if you
Defo.
can get down to Manchester.
Defo.
So we actually originally met them...
In Leeds.
In Leeds, yeah.
In Leeds,
They
Bad Owl
came-
Show.
Yeah, they came to play Wharf Chambers. We were on the same bill, and it was a great gig. And yeah, that was the start of our friendship.
Band friends. It's
Yeah.
great. In fact, we went to see them a couple of months ago, was it?
It's Slocken, yeah.
Yeah. And they had this whole like thrift shop at the back where they branded all this like really cool clothing with their like really tastefully with their branding. It's just sick, and they're just thinking very, very differently.
Outside of that box.
Yes, exactly. So tickets are available online for their lead show. Once we have more details on the Manchester show, we'll make sure to post that online. They've just released a new single
Yes, which we will be playing
in about
in some short moments.
5 seconds.
Yeah.
It was played on the Radio 1 Rock show.
Daniel P.
It's
Carter.
fucking crazy.
Carter.
Yeah, and so we're very, very humble to be able to play them. They've even given us a little soundbite, which is really nice. In fact,
It's from them while they are currently driving around in a van playing their show.
You kind of tell.
yeah, it's amazing. It's really, really cool. So this is introduced. Someone else introduce it.
Go on, Will.
All right, okay. Well, this is No Show by Sir.
I need to press the right button.
Hey.
Hello! Hi! We're Sir, and you're listening to Triggered FM.
Love me now, free me from my pain. I'm on out, not worth anything. Put on my smile, I'm playing unsafe. I can tell that you think I'm insane, but you don't pray how I pray. You don't walk the same way. I can
no show, sir.
Triggered FM!
Oh, we need some music.
Here we go.
Oh, yeah. So that was Sir No Show. Don't forget, Manchester, 12th of March. Leeds, 13th of March.
It's a good band. It's a good music. It's a make everything a sound nice.
Yes. Also, their website is sir.com.
SOEUR.
Yes, it's French. French for sister.
Okay, so some of the feedback that we got on the last podcast was, weirdly, some people were like, we'd quite like it to be longer. We're like, we can do longer. Longer's easier, definitely.
We've been probably fighting the urge to talk as much as we do. Ironically, on a show that's built around us talking, but
It is a talk show.
we do the waffle.
Indeed. So, another band that we would like to talk about.
Also from Bristol.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Bristol seem to be pumping them out. In
See-
fact, we're going to be talking about another Bristol band as well. Right?
Yeah.
Another-
We should call
This
the
the
Bristol band.
This is the Bristol podcast.
The Bristol
it would seem.
podcast, yeah.
Bristol
indeed.
Trilogy.
The Bristol Trilogy. So No Violet are on tour.
Sick band.
Sick band. Sick band. They
Yeah.
came and just absolutely destroyed Leeds the other day.
Yeah, they played Hedra House. Great show. Great show.
Yeah, really good, like, interesting support.
Yeah,
Just fun show.
Yep, real legit. Yeah, big ups to the to Thank as well, man. Should throw up some support for Thank.
Yes.
They pulled out an absolute stormer of a set. It's the
Great,
first
man.
time I've ever seen a dude play Vibrator and Chains on stage before.
Yeah, the chain solo is
They were definitely thinking outside the box.
yeah, for sure. And so, obviously, for us, we met No Violet at Chung.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
a chung.
yeah.
They played
Yeah,
after
yeah.
us and just completely melted our
They
face.
played. It was the Dan Beasley
Yes,
show.
It
indeed.
certainly was.
Indeed it was. You've got Ellie on vocals, who's
Something
absolute
else.
demon.
I've never heard any vocalist like that before.
indeed.
Immediately recognizable.
Yeah, for sure. And so, from the moment we played with them at Chunk, we were like, these guys are something really special.
It's one of those times when you just sort of come across a band and you just see that full package. It's just everything is exactly where it needs to be. You can hear and you can see just like a meticulous amount of effort and like thought going into what they're putting out, and it's just so evident in not only the recordings but like live as well. Everything just sits where it needs to be.
Shout out to their depth bass player.
Oh,
as well,
yeah, man,
who
dude.
came in last minute. They had 2 rehearsals. I think he had about a week and a half to learn the entire set.
Filled some big old shoes with carries.
Indeed. Yeah. And so they've just released a new track. It came out on Thursday, actually. They debuted it on sort of BBC Wales. It's been making the rounds around social media. I hope you've heard it. It's called Lemons. We're going to play it in a second. You can check them out at noviolet.co.uk. That is their website. They're on all of the socials. They're on everything.
I'm pretty sure they've got a few shows left on their tour as well.
Yeah, they are on tour at the
I believe
moment.
they were in London last night. I've got a sneaking suspicion they're in Guildford tonight.
Boiler Room.
Yeah, I know they're playing Boiler Room.
And then I think they're in Bristol for a homecoming show, and then I think they've got a show in Cardiff as well. So if you live in any of those places and have the utter displeasure of listening to this, you have been warned. You have been warned.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, this is introducing No Violet Lemons.
No Violet, hello.
Take 2. You don't know what to say.
Is it Triggered FM?
It's Triggered FM.
Hi, I'm Ellie. I'm the singer and guitarist of No Violet, and this is Triggered FM.
Perfect.
Don't listen to me. Leave me completely free. Reflecting choices of the open-minded. I'm not kind. I'm not kind. Na, 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 na. Na, 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 na. Na, 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 yeah. Na, 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 yeah. Na, 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 yeah. La, 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 la.
No Violet Lemons.
Yo, love that track.
Okay, so Trigger Tuesday. A thing we did last year. We don't need to go over it every time. Maybe, I don't know. We released a track a month for a year last year under the campaign heading of Trigger Tuesday. We haven't really officially announced it, but pretty much it was kind of an album's worth of material released month after month, one after the other. And now you can hear it in its entirety online, 12 tracks. Anyways, we've been picking apart each month, going back, finding the Trigger Tuesday, and kind of just going over some of the fires we had to walk to get it done, really. And so this time last year, it was Indoor Falconry.
Yeah, and Embargo. Well, we recorded them both at the same time, the same weekend.
Yeah. It's rare that we didn't do that again for the rest of the
No, we
thing.
didn't, and there's a reason why for that. Because it was too much to take. But yeah, no, it was the studio that we used.
It was actually my parents' house.
Yeah.
Yeah, they decided to go back to where they came from for about a week.
Yeah.
And it just meant that we could just finally get on with life. Do you know what I mean? And just make a record uninterrupted. So props to my granddad, who has no idea that his room became a studio.
Yeah, we literally converted Aaron's granddad's bedroom into a drum room.
That's where we recorded everything.
No, actually, we recorded everything in there.
Full on, that was just the live room. Yeah.
Mattresses up against the wall, like loads of bedding, just making it really nice and dead.
We'd lost Factory Street, so we were like, we had this dilemma of, we need to get. What should we do? Should we carry on doing this thing? We've kind of committed online, and then between us, we all went, well, it's obvious. We have to kind of fucking make this happen.
Yeah.
Really. And so, fortunately, we had this week where the house was empty, so we just kind of set the gear up. We got snowed in. Some of the worst snow that we've seen in ages.
Yeah,
like
really bad snow.
Damon.
I think I ended up having to at one point got done with the track, looked outside and just went, yeah, I need to leave now. But so, like Aaron said, amps and everything was over in the granddad of rooms, and we were sat right where we're sat right now, looking out of that window right there, going, I ain't gonna get home, gonna get to Leeds. It took me about an hour and a half to drive about 7, maybe 10 miles. Just driving back through utter carnage of just roads just drifting off into the snow and into the sides of the roads. It was absolute chaos. Absolute chaos.
In fact, I'm going to play the record now, and then we'll talk a little bit more about it.
Yeah,
I think that's probably a good idea. Buttons, McButtons, McButtons.
Trigger FM.
Can't believe it's on radio.
Tomorrow, I need it now. Damn it, listen, please keep your mouth shut. Don't listen. 'Cause I'm a ticket. And I say to make you feel better. All the last weekend through the night, I won't sleep so that you always think. Let's go back to my life, no seasoning, heartbeat, but no meaning.
Indoor Falconry.
Yeah. So, if you did tune into last month's show, I was telling everyone how bad of a time I had recording Wolves, and I also had a really horrendous weekend doing Indoor Falconry because we decided actually we recorded drums, bass, and guitar actually for Embargo and Falconry in the same session to try and get ahead of ourselves. And yeah, it was just a lot for me to handle. And bearing in mind, I also came into the studio having not being able to play the song from start to finish well enough yet. So yeah, I spent a lot of time with my hand and my head in my hands, and
I have a lot of footage of that actually. Of in your hands.
To be honest, like shout out to Aaron and Damon for getting me through that because they were really fucking supportive, and I needed taken care of.
It was fun.
Yeah,
it was long, but it was fun.
Lovingly cared for, lovingly supported,
yes,
all the way through.
Bass?
Yep.
Yeah.
Did not have that issue.
You had
as Will said, we tried to double up on it, knowing that we had the constraints of the space and time of only having about a week to get everything done within Aaron's house. So we recorded Falconry first. We were still goofing around with a bunch of settings and pedals and gear that I've just recently got, and we recorded Falconry, then sat down and went through Embargo, and was so happy with the sound that I'd got for Embargo after goofing about with my EQs and so on a little bit more, that we did Falconry again.
What can we say?
It's just
going at it again.
Yeah, my fingers were in a bit of a mess by the end of it, but it was a thoroughly enjoyable
worth
experience.
It.
Once
Definitely
more.
Worth it.
Just here to make Will feel that little bit worse about himself.
Yeah.
So it's a bit of a weird track. It's probably one of our more somber tracks. Yeah. Lyrically, everything was written on the day. This was it's pretty much from here on out that the lyrics were written on the day that they were recorded, pretty much. I had a chorus idea at the time and a mood, and the track kind of was trying to explore some of the shared human experiences. There's a whole bunch of stuff that you go through on a day-to-day basis. I think that it's just a universal experience of being human. And some are more common, and they're all very common among all social circles, but some are a little bit more socially fringe than others. I think recently, with a whole bunch of people kind of topping themselves, man, it's like, it's brutal that we have this inability to be able to talk as a society, and that inability to be able to talk as a society is just a reflection on our very human individual problems, where we can't face our own face our own struggles. So the track's kind of a dialogue between two people. It might be a familiar dialogue to yourself, it might be a familiar dialogue to someone else, but I guarantee you it's a conversation that someone you know has had. I think a lot of us have kind of like danced on the edge of darkness, and it's about, two people going through something and wanting to, relieve themselves of that pain, and both of them feeling selfish for the way that they want to relieve themselves for it. So, it's a bit of a heavier record.
Very heavy.
Yeah, it's a bit of a heavier record. And the artwork, we were really, really pleased. Like, it was one of the few times that we kind of went deeper on the meaning when we were speaking to Lewis, who obviously did the work for Wolves, and we're going to be constantly shouting that boy out, because he's just a talent to be reckoned with. World class. The dialogue went back and forth, and he brought the track to life visually. And I think, like, for me personally, it's my favourite piece of artwork. Across Trigger Tuesday. It just evokes something, and we think it really just worked really, really well. So yeah, with all the heaviness and all the subject matter, that's why we decided to call it Indoor Falconry. Yeah, I guess that doesn't really make any sense, does it? Blast from the past. This time last year, we like to cover shows that we were playing this time last year as well. In fact, 31st of March last year we were playing Veritas Festival, and we have been very kindly given a soundbite from the lovely Nick and Joe.
The Veritas Boys.
The Veritas Boys. They're some of the most lovely, polite people that we've ever had the privilege of working with.
They know how to.
Hearts, the sweetest of hearts.
Yeah.
And then they also they know how to organise a show, and especially for an all-day festival. I remember on the day they had people dropping out last minute, and it was quite stressful and stuff. And they still managed to pull it off and make a great festival out of it.
They always keep their cool, don't they?
Yeah.
They always keep their cool. Nothing pulls them from it. Yeah, the lineup on that day was crazy. There was a whole bunch of people, but I really need to play you this message from Nick because he's just the best.
He's a lovely boy.
Oi, it's your fucking boy Nick from Veritas. What the fuck are you listening to these shit cunts for?
Okay. Thanks, Nick.
Yeah, cheers, Nick.
Yep, cheers, Nick. Yep. Okay, let's move swiftly on from Nick.
I'm not so sure. I think a little bit more focus towards Veritas is required because there's a lot of bands. We did a feature on Nova Hands last week. Completely would not be in touch with those guys if it wasn't for the Veritas guys.
That's true.
Kovacs as well, which
band.
is a big shout out to Joe, that being his band.
Yeah.
You know, he's an integral part of that band and had many a fun time playing with them guys, and they were at that festival as well.
Yeah. In fact, we owe a lot to these guys.
Yeah,
we owe an
we do.
absolute fuck ton.
Yeah.
So, out of the Veritas Festival, like seriously, they were just constantly putting on shows. They pay out their own money to make it happen.
In fact, do you know what?
That's outrageous.
Real quick, I'm going to have a quick check on my Facebook feed. I've got a sneaking suspicion Veritas Fest is coming up very soon, actually.
Yeah, I've seen it advertised.
I am going to give a
weeks.
quick shout out to that if I can find the date on it. Here we go, 20th of April. So we could have probably done this next week, but because we're talking about him right now,
makes sense.
Felt the need to give him a shout out. So this is Veritas Fest number 4, and we are looking at In Dynamics, Hyperphoria, Death and the Penguin. Big shout out to Death and the Penguin. Fez. Do you know what? Matt West, another shout out to you. I do believe that's Matt West's band, so thank you again for last night. Scribble Victory, whole bunch of love.
I love Scribble Victory.
Would you look who else has made their way onto this lineup again? The bloody Nova Hands boys.
Yeah.
There will not be a show that goes past where I don't think they don't get a mention. Favourite band. Rothschild, I think Nova Hands have got a show coming up with them soon as well, and I the Lion. All in Doncaster, 20th of April at Woolpack.
Yeah.
Boom.
Oh, and it's also for the charity Mind. Yes, it's a charity festival for Mind. So after speaking about mental health earlier in the episode, it's worth mentioning them.
Mind, the upcoming one? That one was...
Yep.
Is it? So both were?
They always do it for Mind. They're
awesome.
They're
Sorry
quite
for doubting.
partial to that charity.
Sorry for doubting. We won't edit that out, I promise.
We had, so a band called Penguin.
Which is a combination of Nova Hands
and
another band that we're really fond of called Vogons.
Yeah.
Big up Vogons, big up Joel.
I believe that they actually reformed specifically for the Veritas Festival last year.
Yeah. Really intense lineup, actually.
Yeah.
Like to What Gorilla was there.
What Gorilla were cool. Yeah.
Crazy and Blank Atlas.
Yeah.
Ooh, we would like to give a little bit of a special mention to today. They're kind of our featured friends in the Blast from the Past. Kind of coming up with all these little like radio segment slogans off the top of my head.
Yeah.
But so Blank Atlas, again, another Bristol band. We met them when we played Verve for a Veritas show.
Yep.
Which is the tiniest little sweatbox in the basement of a club in Leeds.
Yep.
Who was playing that? Skull were playing?
Yes,
Skull did play, yes.
Yeah.
Heavy, loud band.
I do believe that the Blank Atlas boys got a megabus up from Bristol for that show.
Yeah, they did.
There is a
dedication.
There is a commitment to getting to a gig where you will spend, admittedly, £3.50 on the ticket is all well and good, but when you take into account that journey's 7 hours long.
Yeah.
Guys want to play a show in Leeds, apparently.
Indeed. They've shown us so much fucking support as well. It's outrageous.
Yeah, the love is a two-way street.
Yeah, indeed. So whenever you get the chance to check them out, you absolutely should. We would love to play you a record of theirs.
Oh,
where's all our music?
We've run out of music.
Do you know what that means?
Shall I just play them?
Let's play their music instead.
Let's play their music.
Okay. Right, this is Sing for Something.
Blank Atlas.
Blank Atlas. Guys, we've been Trigger Thumb. Bye. Go away. Bye. Go away. Bye.
Triggered FM!
Yo, it's Chris here from Blank Atlas, and you're listening to Triggered FM. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe.